Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Tonight's guest is making waves with his brand new release, Phoolabasiya. Please welcome Nishard M to Primetime Sundays. Nishard, welcome to the show, brother. How are you doing tonight?
I am great, Navin. Thank you so much for having me. Special good evening to all of your listeners and all of your fans locked on all over. I am great. It is a very, very wet and rainy Sunday in Trinidad. So I just been indoors for the majority of the day. But it's a pleasure to be here this evening to share some new music and to continue the good vibe and good energy that I've been receiving over the last week and a half or so since officially releasing the song.
That's right, Nisha. Like we talked before from Shane Sam video. And
yes.
This was the hype that you weren't telling me. You were in Guyana last time when we talked, right?
Yeah. That is true. Yes, I was.
So
this is exactly a part of the project that we were doing back then. When we spoke back in December, I think it was.
That's right.
Shooting that part of the video that was done in Guyana.
So for those who may be meeting you for the first time, tell us a little bit about yourself and your musical journey.
Well, as you mentioned, my name is Nishard M. If you have not seen or heard about me before, I am an artist from Trinidad and Tobago, an avid music fan, a fan of Chutney, soca, Bollywood, and all of the different musical influences that we grew up loving and listening to. I'm always proud to represent our culture. If you're into the Chutney soca side of things, I'm also a two-time Chutney soca monarch back in 2018 and 2019, willing jointly with Nival. And, just trying my best to bring good music, bring good vibes, good energy, and share our culture with the world. So if this is your first time, it's a pleasure to meet you. And I'm glad that you took the time to join us this evening.
So that's amazing, Nisha. That's amazing. So we put out there, a lot of viewers want to ask you some questions. So let's put one out of. They want to know, how did your love for music begin?
I've been loving music from a very, very tender age. I've been involved in the music industry since I was like 7, 8 years old. The first time I performed in New York City, I was actually 8 years old, performing at Calypso City in Queens. Always been involved in the choir in school, always been involved in the temple growing up with my grandmom. I think the temple is really, if I break it down to its most basic form, I think the temple is where I really discovered my initial love for music, going to the temple and playing harmonium and dolak and that kind of thing. And it's something that I just naturally gravitated towards all the time. I loved the musical instruments. I loved being around bands and that kind of thing. I've been in bands since I was 7, 8 years old, just hopping around different bands and getting a chance to gain different types of experiences in different environments. But that love that I have for music is something that has just been naturally embedded in me ever since I was born. It's just something that brings me great joy. It brings me great peace and a great happiness. So it's in me,
That's right. Like they say, happiness is key. Is that right,
Nisha? Of course, always.
So let's talk about your new release. What inspired Phoolabasiya?
Well, for the Sundar Popo fans, they would know that Sundar Popo was the one who initially told the story about a woman named Phoolabasiya. And in his version of the story, he's telling the woman basically, yo, get ready, let's go to Masana Bahar, which for people who might not be familiar, Masana Bahar is really part of the foundation of Indian culture here in Trinidad and Tobago. It gave a lot of artists, including myself, including maybe most, if not all of the prominent artists, that initial platform to get their name out, to share their talent, and to be able to go on and do different things. So the initial song is where Sundar is telling Phoolabasiya, organize that we go down to Masana Bahar. I love the idea of doing a Sundar Popo song. I mean, ever since I did Ratia many years ago, I've always gotten the compliment of doing justice to Sundar Popo's voice and to his songs. So I love the idea of doing a Sundar Popo song, but I didn't necessarily want to just do it as a cover. I wanted to create something that really had my own identity as well, that I could tell my own story, with Chutney soca and Chutney music being that storytelling type of genre. So something I've really been exploring is, how do I take this familiarity that people love and make it sound fresh and interesting and new and different at the same time. So that's exactly what Phoolabasiya represents. It takes the story of a woman named Phoolabasiya, but in this version of the story, it's a girl who I met in Guyana, which is actually based on a true story. It's a girl who I met in Guyana
Oh
when I went to
gosh.
do a show, and she falls in love, and she's like, "Yo, I want you to come and meet my parents." I mean, I maybe exaggerated certain parts of it in this song, but that is where the idea of doing Phoolabasiya came from. And over the course of the Christmas season, it was actually trending on TikTok. I saw a lot of people loving the original Phoolabasiya and doing the dance. So I thought it would be a nice opportunity to blend that Trini Guyanese type of fusion, type of flavor, type of story. Because we always have that friendly banter and that friendly rivalry, as some people like to call it. But for me, I think it's just love. It's just love manifested in different ways. But all of those things coming together, that Trinidad Guyana element, that element of storytelling, that wanting to create something that is familiar yet original in some sense, all of those factors came together to create this one track that I am happy to have produced myself right in the studio here that I'm sitting in right now. I did all of the music, with the exception of the guitar, which was done by Nikolai Mohan. The vocals were recorded at Maha Productions and was mixed and mastered at Maha.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, how long did it take from concept to release, Nishad?
I'm a funny person to ask that question because I have songs that I've been sitting on for as much as 6.5 years. This particular song, I started this song in December. We went to Guyana. We shot the initial part of the music video out at the Starbuck Market down in Perica, on the speedboat that heads across the Essequibo. And then I just kind of relaxed on that project for a little bit, having shifted attention to doing other things that I was doing earlier in the year. I also have an album that I'm working on, an original album, with one of my very prominent and established friends in the music industry out in Miami, by the name of Veer Danny Ram. So that was kind of picking up some of my time. We put down Phoolabasiya for a little bit, and then we picked she back up and we say, "Yo, you know what? It's time to finish it." We went down to the Pitch Lake in Labre, which is of course one of our signature and one of our iconic locations here in Trinidad and Tobago. It's the only one of its kind in the entire world. Ironically, but having a chance to showcase something like that as well, brought me a lot of joy to be able to share that with the world. So we put everything together, and finally we were able to share it just about 10 days ago. The video went up on YouTube, and the response has been fantastic so far.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love the video. So, the video was shot in Guyana and Trinidad. Why was it important to feature both countries? I know you talk about the rivalry, curry chicken and stuff.
I mean, when we say rivalry, I know I'm the one who used the word, right? But rivalry to me is a strong term. I think it's a loving type of friendship that we have, and I think the reason for that is because our cultures are so similar between Trinidad and Guyana. Our influences, our heritage is so similar that we what we do is we nitpick on the one or two little things that are different, and we decide to turn it into a kind of friendly feud. So for me, I mean, I've been going to Guyana since 2008. Would have been the first time that I performed in Guyana. It has always been one of my favorite places to perform. The Guyanese audience, I think Guyana is the mecca of Chutney soca audiences. The entire country loves Chutney soca music. They love Chutney soca artists. They always give us love, and show us so much appreciation when we travel to Guyana. So I always had in my mind an idea of doing some sort of Trinidad and Guyana story, not knowing necessarily the direction that the story was going to go. But I knew I wanted it to be something about Trinidad and Guyana. And then when the idea of doing Phoolabasiya came about, I said, okay, you know what, this would be the perfect time to tell this story about this girl that I met. Telling her, well, yo, I mean, you want to get married, but I live in Trinidad and you live in Guyana, so how we gonna make this work,
That's right. So some of the viewers want to know any funny or memorable moments during productions.
Always. Every single production is filled with so much light energy. It's filled with laughter. For people who know me personally, in my personal capacity, off stage, off interview, I am a comedian. I love to laugh and I love to make people laugh. That's just something that I've always grown up enjoying. So working with people, especially people I'm comfortable with, like Street Side Productions, who is the guy who did this music video. And you would be surprised to know, Navin, by the way, this is the very first time that this guy was shooting and editing a full music video.
Wow.
So he's been working with me for a while now, doing more recaps and doing some of our stories, some of our behind the scenes, that kind of thing. But it's always good energy, it's always good vibe, it's always laughter, it's always mistakes. A lot of it is even experimentation. I mean, I have videos on my phone. When we went to Guyana, actually, Phoolabasiya wasn't really solidified as a full song yet. It was more of a concept, which is why we had to come to Trinidad and shoot part of the video because I didn't even have that verse yet. Otherwise, we would have probably structured it a little bit differently. But having not even finished that, we went with really just a demo, an idea, the videographer, and we were like, let's just go with vibes and see, and see what direction this takes us. And the idea was to really just give that sort of everyday Guyanese experience, going to the market, jumping on the boats, going down by the seawall. These are regular things that people do every single day. We didn't really want to necessarily make it seem like something that was so out of touch with some kind of big fancy production. We wanted to make it very kind of grassroots oriented. And I think we had a lot of fun shooting it, especially with the scenes that were shot in Guyana.
Yeah, and trust me, I love the video. I watched that a few times. So how has the response been since the release, Nishad?
Well, the video was released 10 days ago, and right now we just over 40,000 views on YouTube. For me personally, I have to be honest with you, bro. This is the first time in a long time that I have gotten this kind of response within such a short time of dropping a song. Before this, I hadn't dropped a Chutney Soca song in over 2 years. In having intentionally taken a step back from the industry just to kind of re-strategize and decide how we were going to move forward. So I think there was a lot of anticipation there to see what it is I was going to do next coming to Chutney Soca, And I mean, while we're talking about that, if people think that Phoolabasiya, a lot of people have been messaging and saying, yo, this is the song for the summer and we can't stop listening to this on repeat. If you love Phoolabasiya, wait until you hear the heat that I am dropping next month. It is going to... I ain't even going to tell you nothing about it. You see this is actually, hold on, let me show you, let me bring this mouse right here. This project that is right behind me on the screen here, can you see it?
There you go, I can see it, yeah.
This is what I'm working on right now, and this is, trust me, it is going to make you just get up and dance.
So you mean you teased me in Guyana, now you're teasing me in Trinidad?
Yeah, bro, I mean, I've been having a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun kind of taking a step fully back into the Chutney Soca arena. For the last 2 years, not this year, last year and the year before, we did the Mom and Me concert, which was a full Bollywood / Chutney Soca themed concert for Mother's Day, which was really well attended. We packed out the Center of Excellence and we had a really, really fantastic production. So it was kind of mixed for me doing the concert, but then not really releasing a lot of Bollywood music or releasing a lot of Chutney music. And taking that time away from the industry, if you want to call it that. I mean, I was still performing and everything like normal. It was just really the not releasing that particular type of music. But taking that time away, I feel like was an important part of the process to me, to really realize and to formulate how I want to create my music going forward. And I love, as much as I've been doing original music for many years now, and from ever since 2012 was the first time I started doing Chutney Soca music. And I'm talking about doing it at a time where it was not yet cool to say that, yo, I'm doing original Chutney Soca. It was a time when nobody cared. There were a few people talking about it, but I was doing songs like Totin' Feelings, Another Girl Again, Mommy Say, Mischief Maker, Drink Na Boy, Therapy, Mr. Take Your Girl, Celebration, Masala, Fire. All of these were original Chutney Soca songs, original melodies, not with any sort of Bollywood melody taken from it. And I always thought that the industry needed a lot more originality. And the more that I've gotten involved is the more that I've come to the realization that you can't run away from the fact that ours is an industry that's built on familiarity. People love what they're accustomed to. They love the nostalgia. They love the memories that these songs invoke. So for me, the challenge was really, how do I give people that element of familiarity without having to just do a cover song, without just taking the song, changing the beat and singing it and doing it that way? So what I did, like I said, I took the chorus of Phoolabasiya and created a whole different story around it. And it's the same thing that I'm doing with the song behind me here. It's taking something that is familiar and not covering it, but giving it a whole different life, a whole different energy and a whole different vibe in a way that could connect, especially with younger audiences, but at the same time connect with the older people who love familiarity, because younger people might not necessarily be as drawn to old Chutney like my generation, me being a millennial like your generation, like my parents, my grandparents. So the question now becomes, how do we make this music more palatable for younger people? And I think that that's something that I'm going to spend a lot of time exploring. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and just looking forward to being able to share more of it as the weeks come by.
And that's right. I can't wait. I can't wait. So I want to know what's next for Nishard M. I know right behind me, that's the next big thing, right?
Yeah, this is the next project that's going to be released. Yes. Apart from that, like I mentioned to you a little bit earlier in the conversation, there is an original half Hindi, half English album. This is a genre that we basically creating something here that we feel is something that is brand new and that is fresh. We don't even know what to call this genre, to be quite honest with you. And when I say we, it's myself, my friend Veer Daniram, who's the production engineer, the production manager and the audio engineer for the Marley brothers, Stephen Marley, Junior Gong, and these guys out in Miami. He is really well established in the reggae field, one of the most respected engineers worldwide when it comes to reggae music. And this happens to be my childhood friend from ever since I was 5 years old. We went to primary school together. We grew up listening to Indian music together. We grew up listening to playing music together. I played keyboards, he played violin, he played tabla. And he moved to Miami many years ago, went off on his own journey, doing his thing, ended up producing music with the Marleys, ended up going on to become their audio engineer and their producer. And we always had this idea of coming back together and doing something that was really organic, that represented the roots of our identity. And when I say our identity, the music that we grew up listening to. So apart from just Chutney soca music, Bollywood music, which is what we are accustomed to getting out of the industry, we are creating something that's completely new, a brand new sound, a brand new album. For the very first time, we actually have a director from out in Hollywood, in Los Angeles. And this is a guy who was Trinidadian born, but he lives out in Hollywood. He's worked on movies like Avengers, like Transformers. This is a guy who is really world famous within his realm and within the world that he operates. This is the first time that he is doing something like this. He was the videographer that we flew in from Hollywood to Trinidad to shoot the music video for the first song on the album back in March. I'm proud to say, and I don't mean to sound like if I'm tooting my own horn or anything, but this is the very first time that a project on this level with this sort of caliber of persons has been attempted by someone within our industry. It really is something that I feel is going to elevate the bar for what we could do as Trinbagonian artists, as West Indian artists. It is fully original. It doesn't have any sort of cover, any sort of borrowed anything. It is fully organic and fully original. And that is something that has been occupying a lot of my time, working on this original album together with my friends and together with these people from all over the world. We have flautists from Canada. We have country and Western musicians from out in Tennessee, and a whole bunch of different elements and influences going into making this album what it is. Apart from that, I mean, continuing to work on Chutney soca. We have some shows coming up. I'll be at Chutney World in New York City on August 22nd. Working on some dates right now for Florida, for Toronto, for Guyana, for Suriname. So, just log on to the Nishard M social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and you'll be able to keep abreast of every single thing that's happening.
That's right, Nishan. That's amazing. That's amazing. And, we as GT592FM Radio hosts, we can't wait to help promote you guys as artists. As soon as you guys get a track, we'll push it always on our platform. So Nishad, we're now entering the Primetime Sundays quick fire round. The rules are simple. I'm going to ask rapid fire questions and you answer with the very first thing that comes to mind. You ready?
Wait. Are these controversial questions or is just regular questions? Or?
Just regular questions.
all right. Let's go. Hold on. Let me make sure.
I might not bring up the Corey one, but yeah.
No. Feel free. Go for it.
Let's go.
Guyana
or Trinidad food?
Trinidad food.
Pepper sauce or no pepper sauce?
No pepper sauce.
Chutney or soca?
Chutney.
Beach or river?
Beach.
Favorite Caribbean dish?
Favorite Caribbean dish? I would probably have to go with doubles.
Doubles.
Yeah.
Morning or night person?
I okay, so it's kind of weird because I have to explain it. I'm a morning person because I wake up very early and I do a lot in the morning, but I don't really like interacting with people early in the morning, if that makes sense. So I am a morning person, but I'm not a morning person at the same time. But if I had to choose, I would definitely say morning.
That's amazing. So studio or stage?
Um, Stage.
Favorite artist right now?
My favorite artist right now is Charlie Puth.
All right. And dream collaboration?
A dream collaboration. I mean, does this have to be with an artist who is alive, or could it be with an artist who's?
It could be with
I
any
don't know.
artist. Any artist.
Well, you know what? I watched the Michael Jackson movie about 3 weeks ago. I think it gave me a whole new appreciation for him and his magic. If I had a chance to do a song with Michael Jackson, I think that would be the epitome of anything that somebody could achieve as a person who is not Michael Jackson.
Favorite place you've performed?
Favorite place? Dubai. 2022, Dubai. I representing Trinidad and Tobago as a cultural ambassador performing Chutney in Dubai. Amazing experience.
All right. One word to describe Phoolabasiya.
Vibes.
Vibes. That's a great one. That's a great one. So
simple, straightforward to the point. Vibes is vibes.
Favorite thing about Guyana?
Wow. My favorite thing about Guyana, like I mentioned to you, I've been going to Guyana since 2008, which by my calculations would be around 18 years. I think my favorite thing about Guyana is love. And when I say love, it is love for many different things. Guyanese people, they have a special type of love for their culture. They have a special type of love for their music. They have a special type of love for their country. They have a special type of love for each other. And they even have a special type of love for us as artists when we travel to Ghana. I mean, I have loving and vivid memories of many years ago when in my early days of going to Guyana, pulling up by strangers' houses, myself and KI, and these people would come out. They would offer us food, and they were so accommodating, they were so welcoming that it really became sort of a second home for me. And I think my favorite thing about Guyana is just the amount of love that Guyanese people are filled with in so many different ways.
And favorite thing about Trinidad?
Trinidad, my favorite thing about Trinidad has to be our level of multiculturalism. And when I say that, we have so many different influences that happen within Trinidad and Tobago that form a part of what gives us an identity on the world stage as Trinbagonians, as proud Trinidadians, as proud Tobagonians. The music, the food, the culture, the festivals, the religions, you name it. I think it's very, very mixed in many ways. And I think that mixture is something that churns out something very unique. And Trinbagonians are very unique people wherever we travel in the world as a Trinbagonian, when you go somewhere to some other part of the world, there's just some way that you are able to immediately spot another Trini in between everybody. There's just something, I'm sure it might be the same for Guyanese. When you go, you just know who's that guy. Just by looking at the eyes, say, that's a Guyanese. Yeah. I think Trinbagonian people, we just know how to find each other and spot each other.
That's right. So I want message to your fans.
My message to my fans is to really and truly embrace and love each other. To show that mutual respect, that understanding, that tolerance, that togetherness. I think we live in a time in the world now where there's so much division, there's so much things that are trying to tear us apart, trying to pinpoint our differences, and you are that and I am this, and but I feel like we must never lose sight of the fact that we are all human beings at the end of it all. Trinidad and Guyana, especially our cultures, are so similar. I mean, we even have 4 parents who came from the same parts of India on the boat to Guyana, to Trinidad. And I think that contributed to our cultures being so similar. That would be one of the reasons.
Yeah, that's
But yeah, the message to the fans would really just be to show that tolerance, that love, that appreciation for life. I always try to make sure and remind people, especially during my live performances, that life is such a tremendous and a great blessing. It goes by so quickly. It goes by very, very quickly. So make the most of it, cherish it, never take it for granted, and just be a person of love and gratitude.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, Nishard, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Before we feature the video, tell everyone where they can follow you, stream the song, and stay updated on your future projects.
Yeah, of course, you can find me at Nishard.m on Instagram and TikTok. And of course, you can follow the Nishard M channel on YouTube at Nishard M. That's NISHARDM. And of course, the Nishard M page on Facebook. Apart from that, we also have some work going on behind the scenes to launch the official Nishard M website, which is going to be out soon. One single place where you can kind of keep abreast of every single thing that's happening, from performances to tours to shows to behind the scenes to merchandise to releases, behind the scenes, everything else. So basically, those are the social media handles, and I want to encourage guys to especially go check out the music video. If you haven't had a chance to do that yet, it's on the Nishard M channel live on YouTube right now. It's at 41, probably 42,000 views, somewhere around there. Had so much fun shooting the video featuring Trinidad and Tobago and featuring some of the really iconic spots in Guyana as well.
So thank you again for joining us on Primetime Sundays, Nishard M, and we will catch up on what's behind you.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll look out for this thing here. This in 1 month, next month.
All right, Nishard, thank you so much, brother. So, ladies and gentlemen, now it's the time. Grab your phones, turn up your speakers, and enjoy the brand new video from Nishard M, shot in Guyana and Trinidad. Phoolabasiya. What you say? Let's drop it, Nishard.
Let's go.
I live in Trinidad and you in Guyana. Hey, Phoolabasiya baharo ghar angna. I live in Trinidad and you in Guyana. She want to marry. This girl says she want to marry me. Phoolabasiya, she want to marry. I say, yo, take it easy. I went a show in Georgetown, that's where I met Phoolabasiya. Telling me come meet she mama and she father. Look trouble now, that trouble now. Look trouble now, take it easy. Went a show in Georgetown, that's where I met Phoolabasiya. Telling me come meet she mama and she father. I say, Miss Lady, if you want to see me again, go pack your suitcase and fly down to Port of Spain. Hey, Phoolabasiya baharo ghar angna. I live in Trinidad and you in Guyana. Hey, Phoolabasiya baharo ghar angna. I live in Trinidad and you in Guyana. What she say? She want to marry. Yo, this girl says she want to marry me. I say, yo, take it easy. When it's time to go back, she block me down my Mary, saying I can't go back home if I am married. She tell me, what to do now? What we gonna do now? Where we take it easy. When it's time to go back, she block me down my Mary, saying I can't go back home if I am married. She I say, tell your mother to call me on my telephone, so I could find out how much land your father owed. Hey, Phoolabasiya baharo ghar angna. I live in Trinidad and you in Guyana. Hey, Phoolabasiya baharo ghar angna. I live in Trinidad and you in Guyana. She says she want to marry. Yo, this girl says she want to marry me. Yo, Phoolabasiya, she want to marry. She says she want to marry. I say, yo, take it easy. When I reach back home, boy,
GT592FM Radio. Fusing music and Caribbean culture.